Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, it is just a bluebird, blue sky, perfect day out on the golf course here today. It's a nice Sunday morning and it's really not too busy right now at 8:07 o'clock. So I am just doing some maintenance on the greens here, going to be working on some cart paths. And today I just wanted to touch on the GRUB issue that I've been having on the golf course. So it seems to me like the fairways have been cured of their GRUB issues, but now I'm running into issues with grubs on the greens and on the fringes. So I'm going to have to spray for that. So let's take a look here. I've got some bad issues on number 3. So let's take a look at that and figure out what we need to do. This is also an area, before we get over to 3 green here, this is also an area that we have been working on here quite a bit. This rock pile, basically for the last 4 years, we've been working on this project here, which is this pond area and rock pile. So yesterday what I did, my dad and I actually, I trenched this drain here, this corrugated pipe. So I retrenched it over to, trying to think, right there, and that just wasn't working because of, for whatever reason, it just wasn't working. So I had to retrench it again yesterday, and now I have a little bit of a better drainage system here for the pond. Because if you remember in my previous videos here, you remember how much rain we got earlier this year, and essentially this whole area was just drenched with water. And that was continuing up until about the middle of June, and then it finally dried out enough because the sun was so high that it eventually just went away. But now, to limit that issue in the spring and in the fall when we get more rain, we put in this drain pipe right there, and hopefully this water level stays just about the same as what it is essentially right now, which is right about where we wanted. It's about, 8 inches to a foot lower than the ground level there. So really it should really be okay. And it's a good looking water hazard once we get all of the rocks in here and all of the flowers planted and everything like that. So that was a good project we worked on yesterday, and this pipe here seems to be working very well. And that once these flowers and grasses are planted here, it should really turn into a nice little rock garden area, which is what one of my visions was when I bought the course, was to have some of the areas like this just be a little bit better looking than what they were when I bought it. So here is 3 green. This is where we've had the most problems all year with grubs, and you can kind of see it on the iPhone camera here, where the crows and possibly the raccoons and skunks have been digging up. But these are, of course, little crow spots there, and they're really starting to do damage here on the fringes and on the greens. So we're going to go to a couple spots here on the greens where they've caused, severe damage, in my opinion. So what I'm thinking did this was not because there were animal tracks here this morning. There were not crow tracks. They were actual animal tracks. And I've seen this on other golf courses before, specifically in their fairways. Something like this here is usually caused by a skunk. So usually a skunk will come in here with its, and I do have a pretty high dense population of skunks around the golf course. So the skunks will come in here and they will essentially start digging at the turf. They will start digging at the turf and, pretty much finding whatever grubs are in here. And that isn't a good thing because A, it rips up the greens, and B, it affects my root growth. So essentially what I need to do is spray this with some 7 produced by Bayer, and that will take care of any issues on the greens here. I want to say it's I can't think of the chemical or the pesticide off the top of my head. I cloprid or something of that nature, and that will hopefully take care of the problem. But you can see again over here, they started to dig, and it isn't nearly as bad as seen by my hand size, but you can see it's just enough, and these little grubs are just causing a big enough issue that I need to do something about it. And I just, I can't have my fringes looking bad either. As you can see, more of an issue right here with some digging. So I need to get this sprayed and watered in. I'm going to do that Tuesday morning, a couple days from now, because I have to borrow some 7 from another golf course in the area, because my lack of foresight allowed me not to order any pesticides for my greens this year. So I need to get this fixed, because that is a pretty, there's my hand, that's a pretty large spot that would piss off any golfer. So what we're doing right now, we're just fixing some spots on the greens that my cup cutter, when I don't do it, leaves them low or high, as you can see. And then I brought the sand out as well to, fix these holes in the greens where there are some issues like that, which for me, I have some of the best greens in Northwest Wisconsin. And I will rightfully so admit that. And it's quite frustrating when you've got all these outside forces acting against you. So we're just going around doing some light fixes on the greens here. I have to work on cart paths as well. I want to put down some pavers for people to drive on. So that's kind of a lighter work day today. And hopefully I can get some of these issues resolved sooner than later. And speak of the devil right here, so these are the little buggers that are causing me so much pain on the greens right now, are these stupid little cutworms. Just a pain in the butt. And this year it seems like they've been worse. Look at that. Worse than previous years, especially during this time of year. So it's not ideal what we're dealing with right now by any means, especially already halfway through August, which is crazy to admit. Hopefully I can get these sprayed before any more damage is caused. I'm a little worried about the next few nights now that the skunks know that these grubs are on these greens, because the last thing I need is a bunch of holes on the greens. That wouldn't be ideal whatsoever. This was another area one of my workers and I worked on yesterday, because this area gets scalped by one of my workers so much that I decided to essentially take the worst of it out, put in a little walking path up, move the sign, and then throw down some Kentucky bluegrass here. And you can see here that there was more digging going on right there with the animals. But just kind of dig in this, trench out this little area for the walking path, put some rocks down here so people don't trip on the way up, and then as this settles over time, it won't move, and then boom, you're right up to the tee box. So that was a nice little project that he and I did yesterday here. And essentially what I want to do on this cart path is extend out those pavers all the way up, so we're not driving on this icky, bad rock. And right now, this looks good. I'm hoping that the seed will take off eventually here. And this is an area that we just won't get with the zero turn at the end of the day. So hopefully that seed will take off before it rains next, and the irrigation will just lightly hit it. And we should be good to go. But this turned out excellent. I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. And it really worked nice. Looks good. I don't think a lot of people are going to use it, which is good. But it still looks really good right there. Nice little walkway up to the tee box. So right now we're just on my Boomer 24 and we're hauling some rock over to that pond. I'll do about 3 or 4 loads of rock here, just enough to get everything all evened out. And I figured I'd use this rather than the skid steer again today, because it's just so wet over by that pond. So it really doesn't make sense to have a 7,000 pound vehicle over there, minus the rock that could fit in the bucket. So basically 8,000 plus pounds, even more, maybe close to 8,500 pounds, rather than I could have something that maybe weighs 3,500 pounds total. So I figured that was a much safer choice, and we're just driving over, dumping this rock. We'll do about 4 loads, and then I actually want to start on cart paths here. I filled in that area with the tractor. It's a big divot, and I kind of want to start on cart paths today, putting down some of that pavers on some of the crappy cart paths. But I'm just looking for thin spots here and there, basically looking for some thin spots like this here, and we're just putting down the rock so it could be evenly distributed. And you can see that one is not in yet, but that's okay, and nor is that one, but again, that's okay. We're just driving up to this here and dumping it. So it's pretty fun. This is the part of the job that I like. Very easy work. And there we go. Pretty simple. And finally today we're just doing a little camera scouting. We've got a nasty red squirrel up here being a pain in our butt, and we're throwing some cameras out now for the upcoming bow season. So this New Holland Boomer 24 is getting a good workout. We're gonna head to the north side of the course here and put that bad boy in. And there we go, just doing some work with the cameras. And yeah, this terrain doesn't look that bad on the iPhone, but the Boomer 24 is taking it really good. This is some steeper terrain for it, for sure, but we've got it in low, we've got it in 4-wheel, and we are making good work out of this big slope here. So this is pretty fun. I enjoy doing this stuff. Just trying to dodge the tree stand. Oh, I hit the tree stand. Oh, and now I got caught on the tree. So that's what we're dealing with today. A little bit of tractor usage. Figured I gotta use this bad boy. And this is the perks of owning the golf course. You've got all this awesome hunting land. Nice tree stand. Trying to forge a trail back here for the golf cart with the tractor, and it's going pretty nice. But this Boomer 24 is really getting after it here. This is great. Woo. Gotta hand it to this Boomer 24. This is one of the better units that I have purchased for the golf course, for sure. Makes quick work out of any rough situation.